Hello, my name is Miskana Yilma. I am a freshman here at Temple University, and it's very nice to finally be able to introduce myself to you in a very candid and open-ended and honest, formal way. This is definitely my kind of setup. I love talking in front of a camera. It's my passion, and I hope you are pleased. So a little bit of background about me. I am from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's around an hour and a half, 2 hours, give or take, from here by car, and then it's around an hour 15 by train. Now, I usually take the train when I go home because I don't yet own a car, and it's the most cheap and convenient option for me. And I go pretty often. I go back to work. I work at a place called Your Place Bar and Restaurant. It's a pizzeria and a bar and a sports pub. I love it there so much. I love the environment. I love the customers that come in. I love the workers. I love my manager. I love it all. And I am a server, so I make a good amount of money. I started off as a hostess making around $8-9 an hour, and all I was doing was I would greet people when they came into the restaurant, to the dining room, and I would seat them, and then I would let the servers know they were there and that they had to serve them. And then I got promoted to actually serving, and I absolutely fell in love with it. It was everything that I love to do. I love making money, and I love talking to people. Everything. My passion is talking to people. Communication is, I'll get into this later when I talk about the things that I took away from this class or the things that I am taking away from this class, and one of them is communication. Absolutely. Communication is key to just about any situation that I have found myself in, really. But back to my background. When I moved to America with my family, there's 8 of us. I have 5 siblings, 2 older brothers and 3 older sisters, and my parents. And we moved in with this family. Well, we didn't move in. They were our sponsor, and we were there for about 2 months. And there were 16 people in a house with 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and 1 bath. It was 1.5 bathrooms actually. No idea how we did it, but we managed to make it work for 2.5. Actually, I think it was almost 3 months. We managed to do that, and then we moved into a house in the same neighborhood, and then the 8 of us. It was a little bit of a break. It was much better than 16, but 8 was still a lot. And then as we grew up, everyone was going to college, and then eventually it was just me. It was me and my parents, and it got to a point where I really started to understand them a lot more. When I was little, all the stereotypes about foreign parents, I always thought they were very true. Like, they're stricter, they don't understand things in America, yeah. And so I would get really annoyed by it, thinking that they were unwilling to learn. And then I realized it wasn't the fact that they were unwilling, it's just that they had no idea. There's so much about this country that they just did not know about. And I found myself asking, why is it that they can't understand? Why can't they understand the way that I think, the way I think in a very American way, because I didn't grow up in Ethiopia, I grew up here. And then I came to realize that there's so much that they've been through that I have no idea about, and the values that they taught us are the exact values that I think that I need for my entire life, which are take responsibility for your own actions and put God first. And those 2 things have helped me in just about everything. From that point, from being alone with my parents for 4 years while I was in high school, I grew tremendously, and I'm so grateful for that. So an accomplishment that I've had in my life, I wouldn't say that I'd call this an accomplishment, but I do think it's a very necessary first step that I did take. And I have a love for politics. I love talking about anything related to politics with anybody of any view. I really do. I actually prefer to talk to people that I disagree with, because those are the conversations that actually matter. If I'm talking to a bunch of people that I agree with, nothing's changing. I like change. I like effect. I like influencing. So I was interviewed by the Daily Signal. It's a conservative newspaper, and I was so excited. I had never been interviewed before. Well, I was really nervous because I had never been interviewed before. I thought I was going to be stupid. I thought my views were not coherent enough for her, but she ended up liking it really. She really, really liked it, and I really enjoyed it. And I looked online a couple of days later, and I was on there, and there were so many people commenting about it and saying that my ideas were good, and I had never been given this kind of anonymous encouragement like that, and it was absolutely amazing, and I felt really accomplished after that. And even though it wasn't necessarily an accomplishment, I feel like I broke the ice with politics and commentating, and that's something that I really want to do when I'm older. I would love to give my opinions and hear other opinions and come up with new ideas and talk about politics in general. I wasn't into politics until, honestly, the first semester, and I realized that politics relates to way more than I thought it does, and it's literally studying life. It's studying how people interact with one another, what policies are put in place, how they're going to affect the actions, what kind of policies need to be put in place to affect people's actions. It's all stuff that I find very, very interesting. And I intend to go to law school. I'm not sure what I want to do with my law degree yet, but because I know that it all pretty much revolves around law and in the business world as well, I look forward to that very much. So HRM, my takeaways from this class have been communication, like I was saying before. And it's insane how people don't realize how important communication is and how important interacting with other people effectively is. And it's important in your job, it's important in work, it's important on the street, it's important buying anything. It affects your job, it affects people's opinions of you, and I understand you don't need to care about people's opinions of you, but there are some people whose opinions of you really matter, like the people that are going to put you in certain jobs or certain positions or pick you for certain leadership roles. It's all very important, and understanding values, and we talk about values all the time and how that's something that's the basic for every business. If you don't have values, you don't have a business. And if you don't have values, you don't have a personality. I think you have to have certain values to operate every day and talk to people and, like, be able to just make a difference. It's all about communication, it's all about interactions. And I really look forward to the rest of the semester in this class and everything that I'm going to learn. I love talking about articles. Something with politics that I've learned is that you have to be very careful about the bias in what you're reading, because a lot of things, they might not be giving it to you absolutely straight. They might be giving it to you in their perspective. And we read the Wall Street Journal here, and this is one of the most unbiased sources that I've at least experienced. I read it and I think to myself, I don't think there's anything here for me to debate. At least the articles that we have read, the ones about Lyft, about Instagram, about these big businesses, and the fact that we have in the beginning of class how Petrucci asks us different topics and like anything that we've talked about. I love listening. I personally, I probably should participate a little more, but I do read. I promise I do read it, like just about everything. I read more than what we're required to read because I love keeping up with all of this stuff. And I really look forward to the rest of this class, and I hope you enjoyed this little intro of me. Have a good one.